It's Brian Preston, the money guy.
Well, I found out this thing. Do y'all know what an apex predator is? I mean, we're going to be talking about it in another show.
If you don't, stay tuned till next week.
Next week. But it means that you're top of the food chain. It means that there's not anybody really hunting you out there. Well, guess what? Great white sharks, apex predator. Mm-hmm. Or is it? Because guess what we found out? And this is, I'm going to say, this is the apex to the apex predator, the Mega Roth conversion strategy. Because realize great white sharks are like your normal Roth conversion or your normal Roth IRA.
They're still fierce and they're still powerful.
There's something really powerful. But they have found out that orca whales actually eat great white sharks. So I think that means that they are like the mega apex. I guess until a megalodon comes on and eats the orca whale, then they'll sit on top of the apex predators. But Mega Roth conversions are tremendous. Now these things, I will tell you, we're talking to primarily is not a huge portion of the population that can do these things. And you're probably working for a Fortune 500 company or a company that's specialized in structuring their retirement plan to allow Mega Roth conversions. Now, a lot of you are like, Mega Roth conversions? What the heck is that? You know, what if I told you you could contribute around $50,000 a year to a Roth account?
I'd say, Brian, you're crazy. I know because I'm a Money Guy listener that Roth IRAs, you can only do $6,000 if you're under 50 or $7,000. But I get it. You could do Roth 401ks and you can go up to $19,000, or if you're over 50, you can do $25,000. But 50 is crazy. You're talking about like a husband and wife can do 50. That's what you must mean.
There is a whole nother level to this whole Roth funding thing. And this thing, by the way, this is completely legit too. The IRS has issued some clarification on this as well. There's a whole publication on things that you can, there's no reason for me to read it out loud, but know that the IRS has come out and actually given clarification on these Mega Roth conversions, because here's what they are. Some employer retirement plans offer what's called after-tax contributions
it's important
to their
to
retirement
know
plan.
That's different than Roth or traditional.
Yeah.
So most retirement plans, Roth, traditional is a third type that's after tax. A lot of people confuse Roth and after tax. They are different and distinct.
If you remember, if you watched the entire episode, not one of our highlights, you know with a Roth conversion strategy, the IRS has kind of clarified that they consider any type of after-tax funding to be, you have basis. And if you have basis, you can convert that, because there's no income limit on Roth conversions now. You can convert that to a Roth. Well, that same logic that lets you do Roth conversions lets you with these Mega Roth consider if your employer allows you to fund after tax, you can convert that entire contribution that went into after tax into a Roth account.
Yeah, so it kind of flies in the face of conventional wisdom. Most of us know that, okay, well, I'm capped. I can only put $19,000 into my 401k. Well, that's not entirely true. You can only do $19,000 of either pre-tax or Roth contributions. You can actually elect to do after-tax contributions if your plan allows it, all the way up to the Section 415 limits, which is like $56,000 this year. You're not capped at 19 or 25.
So I think an example would probably help out better than us just walking through this. And then of course, I'm going to throw in some highlights and thoughts and color.
Love it. Perfect. So let's walk through an example. Let's say that you are someone and you make $200,000 a year. That's your personal income. And you would like that you want to put $19,000 into the traditional 401k. You're going to put in pre-tax. Realize
this is probably somebody in a higher tax bracket.
Right.
So they're going to probably do a traditional on the contribution,
because they want that current year tax deduction. Let's say that their employer also gives them a 3% matching contribution, because that's really important. So $19,000 they put in pre-tax, their employer puts in $6,000. That leaves $31,000 left, $31,000 of space to fill to get up to the full $56,000. In theory, you could elect to do after-tax contributions to your 401k of $31,000. If your employer is set up so you can do this, you can then take an in-service distribution and immediately roll that $31,000 of after-tax contributions into your Roth IRA. Once it is in your Roth IRA, you then have $31,000 that can grow for you tax-free forever.
So a lot of you are like, wait a minute, Brian, you said, I only heard 31,000. How can we get 50,000 into a Roth? Well, if you were doing, instead of doing traditional, if you did a Roth 401k contribution of 19,000, and then you did the 31,000 after-tax contribution, we're right there at 50
close.
grand into a Roth account each year. It's pretty powerful stuff.
That's exactly right. Now, again, you mentioned, so this is unique because it's got to be available to someone who has the income where they can save that kind of money. But just having the income alone will get you there. There are 2 questions you have to ask your employer that matter. And if the answer to these questions are no, unfortunately, the mega Roth, I had to change the name of it, the mega Roth conversion is not available to you. The 2 questions you have to ask are, number 1, does your employer let you even do after-tax contributions? Because some of them won't. And number 2, does the employer allow for in-service distributions? That's the thing that lets you get the after-tax dollars into your Roth IRA.
That's exactly right. Now, a lot of you, because here's something, you're going to go out there, and a lot of you immediately after you watch this show, you're going to go type in on Google, mega Roth conversions, and all kind of blog posts are going to come up. I'm going to tell you something that I saw when I was reading these blog posts, and this is why we're professional grade versus somebody who's just really good at finance.
Sure.
Is a lot of in blogosphere, a lot of people were saying, man, this is going to be awesome for solo 401ks. And I even found a few sites that gave you some, because this isn't like, I don't think if you set up a solo 401k with some of the like Vanguards, Fidelity, or Schwab, I don't think they're going to have this type of structure. They're going to have very boilerplate type options for you. So you're going to have to go to a specialized 401k provider to let you do this with like a solo 401k. And there were some options out there on some of the blogs, but I was like, wait a minute. I don't know that I agree with this advice. If you make enough money that you can do a mega Roth conversion strategy, I will tell you guys, anybody who's making enough money to put this much in, there's even another level that we don't even have disclosed in all this. There's you could have a 401k that works in conjunction with a cash balance plan. There's all kind of cool funding things that have occurred. Cash balance plans is a level that we can't even get into on this show today. But just be careful. If you make enough money to where you can fund these mega Roth conversions and you're self-employed, there might be another bonus level that we can't even cover today. This strategy is going to work for, like I said, Fortune 500 people. We dealt with an auto manufacturer that when we got in, we did a whole education, corporate event for them. And then when we got into looking at their retirement plan, we were like, whoa, they structured it with the mega Roth conversion strategy built in. These guys are going to have their minds blown when they realize they can do this.
Now, there is one way to screw this up, and it's not like a huge screw up, but it's kind of a screw up because you probably like free money. I know that we like free money, and since we like free money, we want you to like free money. One of the things that you can do to kind of screw this up is say, all right, you know what? I'm going to do this. I'm going to set it up so that I'm going to have my paycheck withheld so that over the course of the whole year, I'm going to put in $56,000. It is possible that you can squeeze out your employer match.
True.
So you want to make sure whatever you're putting into this after-tax bucket, you factor in the fact you got to leave some room for your employer match. Because if you put your money in before your employer puts their money in, IRS just says, too bad, you don't get that money. So make sure you measure twice, cut once before you employ this type of strategy.
That 56,000 is a hard cut. Now it is indexed for inflation. Next year it will probably, like last year it was 55, then it went up to 56. So it does get indexed for inflation, but it's a hard threshold there. So make sure you are leaving room for both employer match as well as if they do any profit sharing or anything like that. We did want to put one honorable mention that kind of fit in here. We were nervous it was
going to go long, which it did. So that's why we left this in the honorable mention category.
Yeah, I was kind of hoping the show would be a 35-minute show. It's not a 35-minute show.
Look at Regis.
It's one of those honorable mention. All of our healthcare workers, or if you work at a university and you have access to both a 401k/403b and a 457, guys, guess what? You heard those. 457 has its own code section with the IRS. So if you have access to a 457 and that 401k or 403b, you can load both of them up.
Exactly
so any of you high-income doctors or people who work at a university, maybe a professor, it's one of those things. Look at that because there's a chance that you could actually fill up both of those salary deferrals. Because if you work 2 jobs and you put $19,000 in this 401k. And then you're working over here and they have a 403b, you can't put another $19,000 because they're like, nope, you hit the 415 limit on funding these 2 plans. But as soon as you find out they have a 457, you go, different code section, we're back to saving. So it's just, I felt like that was an honorable mention that didn't make it into Daniel's awesome slide deck, but it's definitely something, if you have high income and you have that unique circumstance, it's an incredible planning opportunity.
What I think is so amazing about each one of these is I don't think that any one of these strategies by itself is necessarily going to be the thing that gets you to financial independence or has you missing financial independence. But what these things really allow you to do, and you said it perfectly, Brian, this allows you to stretch your money 5, 10, 15% farther than your peers. And this is how you really take your finances to the next level and really optimize all of the tools at your disposal.
And then I'd be crazy. I'd be a horrible businessman if I didn't throw this out there. Everything here had multiple steps, had a tax impact where our favorite taxing uncle is going to be looking over your shoulder to make sure you're doing it right. You're hearing this and you're like, whoa, these are all things that are pretty cool. I think I can do it, but what else are these guys not telling us that I could be doing better with my finances? This is the abundance cycle. We want you to come, listen, learn, grow, but you're going to reach a level of success. You're going to say, am I maximizing? Is this getting so big that I might be screwing it up? Yep. Or I had a call with somebody today that's doing outstanding. They just don't have enough hours in the day anymore. You need to consider taking the relationship to the next level. We give you all this free advice with the thought that you are going to reach that point that you're going to say, hey, maybe I ought to work with those guys.
If you're someone out there listening and you're listening via Stitcher, iTunes, iHeartRadio, fill in the blank, we do a live stream every other Tuesday night at 4:45 Central. During the live stream, our chat's been going crazy, and what I love is we've got guys in the other room answering your questions. If you're curious about some of the stuff, I mean, there were some great questions around the after tax and how that works, and the guys are filling up. If you have questions, they come directly through to us. We mention them. Make sure that you go check out the live stream, because when we turn off the, I can't say when we turn off the cameras. When we stop recording the audio portion, we're actually going to hang around with all of our live members right now, and we're going to do some Q&As. We maybe we'll give away some tumblers. We kind of like to do that. If you haven't checked that out, make sure you show up on a Tuesday night to come check that out and be with us.
Now, also, because we've gotten called out in the fact that we do have things that we give you out. If you like getting PDFs, just updates, the unique things that are coming your way, we've got even more stuff coming. Right. We're updating some things on the website. If you're not giving us your email address, just go to moneyguy.com. Yep. Give us your email address. We're going to have a section. A lot of you, because we've gotten so many emails saying, hey, y'all did that show on multiplier effect or 88 times over. Can I get that deliverable or that handout, that PDF that y'all have?
We've had a bunch of people ask for the Roth conversion flowchart.
Guess what, guys? Sign up on the website, moneyguy.com. Give us your email address. We're going to structure the website where you're going to be able to go get those, grab those deliverables. Reby, am I over-promising, or is that something that I think we're going to have in the next 3 weeks, 2 weeks?
Reby said that we're going to have something really, really exciting for you guys, and it's in the works as we speak.
So if you want to have access to those great free things that we're just giving out to the Money Guy family, moneyguy.com, give us your email address. Don't forget, because you see the ticker we're over 400, 34,400. I'm floored by how fast this thing's moving, so please make sure you subscribe on YouTube and then ring the bell so you get all the notifications so you know when we're doing live streams and all the other cool stuff that's going on. I'm your host, Brian Preston, Mr. Bo Hansen. Tune in next week. We'll do another 50-minute show on advanced strategies or something else. So we try to make these things 35 minutes, but we're going to probably do another 50-minute show.
All right.
Money Guy out.